David, how are you doing, man?
Not bad. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you for coming on to Teach Me How to Wrexham. Today we have David Williams. He is the goalkeepers coach for the Wrexham AFC women's team. He also does a lot of other things that will probably be best told by him, by the man himself. David, who is David Williams?
That's a big question. David Williams is an ex-goalkeeper, youth goalkeeper for Everton, played for my country as well. When I got older, I realised I couldn't bounce the same. So I went into the coaching side of things. I coached at a couple of clubs before joining Wrexham. And then I got into Wrexham Academy and Wrexham Women. And mainly now I do Wrexham Women and I do Colwyn Bay, which is in the Welsh Prem as well, men's team. So I do the goalkeepers for Wrexham Women, Colwyn Bay first team, and Wrexham Academy when I have time. I help them out as well.
That is amazing. And so for anybody that didn't follow your career as a goalkeeper into now, what were you played for Everton, you played for your country. What were maybe some of the big moments for you that you remember that go down in your books of like, here's a game that I remember or matchup or something?
I think it all started when I was about 15, playing for my local grassroots team. Rose Aylwood, where Wrexham Women played last season, so it was nice to go back there to play our games. Then I moved to another grassroots team in Wrexham called Brickfield, and then I signed schoolboy forms for Wrexham. So I had a couple of seasons at Wrexham Schoolboys. It was very enjoyable, and the people I met there was unbelievable. But there was also a lot of competition through keepers years older than me. So we had David Walsh, who was an ex-Wrexham goalkeeper. Lee Edwards was there. And there was a few others at the time. So it was going to be very hard to break through that club. So the decision was to come to... I had heard I had interest, so I ventured out and looked into that. And that's went to a few clubs on trial, and that's when Everton came in and I signed for Everton. One of my dreams was to play for Wrexham and play for Everton. So I signed the YTS forms
Nice.
for Everton.
What?
Big change from Wrexham, which I think were in Division 2 at the time, to a Premiership team as a YTS, which was a big change in career, really, and a big step up. So it was enjoyable.
What got you into goalkeeping?
It all started, really. I used to be an outfield player. I used to play centre-half. And I wouldn't say I was brilliant, but I was okay because of my size. So I was winning the balls and I got stuck in. But one game they were short and I just jumped in goal. And I can remember my dad saying, "What are you doing?" So I went in goal and I done really well. And it's just gone from there, really. We used to go down the fields with my mate, Matthew, and his dad and my dad. And just in the end, I was one of them people who just used to have the ball smashed at me, and I used to do quite well on the field, and it just progressed from there, really.
What would you stylize your type of goalkeeping? Would you put a name to, you have some of those keeper sweepers and, different types of style. How about yourself?
No, I wouldn't say I was like the modern day keeper where they're playing round at the back. I wouldn't have too many touches. It was like a long ball and shout very loud, really, and never shut up during the game, really. Just
yeah.
Organising and bossing my defence around, like to be heard, should I say.
Oh, yeah. Now, is that something that as a coach now that you make sure that the keepers that you're talking to stay vocal? Do you teach them how to, I don't know, make your voice louder or bigger or project it out?
Yeah, well, when I was younger, I used to talk, but it was just mainly noise. I used to, as I describe it, just talking for the sake of it. Then when I went to Everton, my first week or two, Neville Southall pulled me over and he said, "When you talk, just talk information. It'll make your game so much easier." So I was like, right, okay. So I was talking and all that, but it wasn't until I got older and more wise and thinking, hang on, my legs can't run that far. Let's get someone else to do it by talking. And it helped me play for so much longer by just talking and organising my defence. And I just wish I knew it years earlier, because it would have helped me most probably play longer as well, really. So, but that's what I want to try and get through to the young girls now that are at Wrexham and wherever I am, just talk and make sure the information is good information just to get the job done easily for them. So,
And that makes sense too, that just like a ball is going to travel faster than you will with the ball, so pass it. And your voice is going to travel faster than you will with the ball to a place. So then pass your voice off to somebody.
Exactly. It's just little information, like if your centre half is running to the right, just let them know there's a player on the left. Or if the centre half or your right back's got the ball, just say you've got 5-10 yards before the player close them down. Who to pass it to? Can they switch the ball? Just literally as much information you can, so that player only has to concentrate on playing that ball. So I just find I used to talk and just tell them literally everything they would like to know. If I was in that situation, would I want to know how far that player is from me, which way to kick the ball, who to pass it to? Can I switch the ball and stuff like that? So it's just telling them as much information they can. So all they've got to concentrate on is where to kick the ball, really. That's how I never told me what to do, really. And yeah, it was very good advice on that.
That is something that I've never even attempted to play a keeper or know much about that role. So a lot of this is just new information for me, is that you're the eyes behind the head of the players in front of you. So you can look at the field and then a good keeper is going to keep everybody in the know of what's going on. And I'm sure that they're super appreciative that they've got somebody looking out for them and saying, hey, this person's coming, 15 meters from you or et cetera. And yeah,
that's exactly. It's just as much information. It's just like it's reversed as well. If I'm coming for a cross as a goalkeeper, I would like my defenders to say, play it on you, or you're getting challenged, or if the ball's going wide, leave it, it's going wide. So you don't have to catch it or save it. You can have a goal kick from it. So it's likewise, really. They need to be talking just as much as I do. So I think if the keeper starts talking, it just works its way through its field then. Through your defence, through your midfield to your strikers, and so on. That's how I got told. But when you're young, when I was 16, you think, oh, hang on here. But when you get older, you realise it helps your game so much. So you can have a good game and not touch the ball, if that makes sense, by just talking and organising it. That's how I look at it. I think, hang on, I had a good game. I never touched the ball, but we won 1-0. So it's like, it's just because I was organised. That's how I found it in later life, really.
Yeah, and too bad you didn't have that time machine to go back and tell younger you, work smarter, not harder. Like the game can be played differently, but when you're younger, it's so hard to convince, a younger person of something different than what they think in their mind. And you're dealing with these younger people now. How did it change from when you were a player going to coaching? How did that transition come about?
I think how it came across I was at a local club playing football and just a younger keeper. I think must have been late 20s, and then they had the reserve team and their keeper came in, and it was just keepers always got forgotten about. So I said, come on, we'll go in the corner, and we just started to do it. And I can remember the lad coming in after the session saying, thanks for that, I really, really enjoyed it. I've never had anything like that before. And I was like, oh, right, okay, thanks for that, no problem. And I was still playing, so I didn't really think about it. And then my lad, he starts playing goal, but now he plays out. So it was just gone from there, really. His local team, I used to do a little bit there and help them out. And it's just snowballed from there, really.
If you were going to coach and you now is coaching, young you, 17, 18-year-old or 16-year-old you, what would have been like the first lessons you would have instilled into yourself?
Ooh, that's a good one. It would be talk good information to your team and to your players first thing, and just the way the game's changed now, fitness-wise, is totally different compared to when I was playing.
Oh,
it's totally different.
Oh, how so?
Now. It's just nowadays, before when you were a goalkeeper, it was all about size and the build of you. But now it's more how athletic you are. Can you play football? Are you a footballer really as well? So I would be like I try and teach the kids now about just get a ball at your feet as much as you can and just keep passing it and be like an outfield player. And some sessions, I might not have them. I'll just say, go with the outfield player so you're doing ball work, because that's how the game's changed so much. They are like outfield players who can catch now.
Which is insane, because you're people now, keepers are extremely good at multiple things. And it's just like, okay, you were one type of athlete, but now it's like a dual, triple threat type of athlete. If you would have had the training and that would have changed, if you would have been your own trainer and you had the training, do you think you would have listened to the older you now, or were you pretty receptive at a younger age?
I think when you're younger, you think you know it all, don't you? And that's the hard thing. And the thing is, like, my hero was Neville Southall, so I always looked up to him and how he was. And he wasn't a footballer. He was just best goalkeeper in the world at making saves, making blocks, doing punches. He wasn't a footballer where he'd like the Man City keeper and all the Premiership keepers now. He was nothing like that. He was an old school goalkeeper, and he was my hero. And watching him train, it's just totally different football. So yes, it's a hard one now, knowing what I know now. I would just tell the kids, just enjoy it as well, but also just work hard.
Do you run into that now, where there's, some of the younger people that are coming in that you're training and dealing with? Do you run into any bit where you kind of see yourself in them and you're like, oh, wait, hold on, I need to rephrase this or go about this differently because I know who this is here?
So far, no, I haven't. I haven't seen anyone.
Yeah, I'm not going to say names. Like, give me, give me the names. Who are they?
No, to be honest, I haven't come anyone across, and I think you're the double of how I was. I haven't really. It's strange. I think every goalkeeper is different in their own way. You see players which you think, yeah, he's got a good right foot. He reminds me of, say, Beckham, because he can bend it like Beckham. But I think not many keepers are actually the same. I think they've all got their own uniques and do things differently, the way they catch and the way they die. I just feel goalkeeper, you've got to do how you feel's best to do that job. With defending, you could be good in the air or you could be good on the floor, but you could still play the same position. But with goalkeeping, it's catching the ball, making sure that ball stops going in, but you've got to do it how you think's best. There's no set way of doing it. However I think's the right way. I could go to another coach tomorrow and he could say, no, that's the wrong way. It's this way you do it because it's a different technique of doing things. It's just like diving on the floor, how you get up. It's just every keeper's different how they do stuff.
Do you normally coach to the strengths more than the weaknesses to build up, or is everybody so different that it's hard to even put anything in a box? Like,
yeah, if you're doing one-to-one sessions, yes, you can work on a little bit of their strengths, but also work more on their weaknesses. But when you've got 2 or 3 keepers, that's where you've just got to join it, try and find all their weaknesses and do a bit of a drill for all of. So you're doing 3 drills, which will concentrate on each weakness of each player. So they're all rotating. So someone's strongest could be someone else's weakness. So one keeper might find it easy, but then he might find something else easier than, say, the first keeper. So it's just trying to rotate and make it interesting so they're not doing the same thing each week. So, and then doing men's football to women as well. It's a bit different as well. Like, so yeah, it's very challenging doing your sessions. It really is, I think, for a goalkeeper.
Yeah, you bring up a really good point about the difference between the men's and the women. And there was a person during the last match that had asked the question of, are the women's goals a different size than the men's goal? And it's like, of course they're not. But to somebody who, isn't familiar with it, they're like looking, and the women are smaller, than the men are. And so you would think that obviously there's a different way to coach because they're not covering the same amount of area as somebody who is larger. But then in my tangent, we'll get to a place. But then you have some smaller keepers historically within football who have been successful, who haven't been the biggest keepers of men. And so they play a different style. what are some kind of the differences that you would teach towards or instruct or coach towards the women keepers versus the men?
If anything, the women keepers, I would say, are easier to coach because they want to learn and they won't give up until it's right. The thing is, with men, we're a bit stubborn, aren't we? We think we know it all as well at times.
Yeah.
But the women keepers are so enjoyable to do because you ask them to do something, they'll just carry on doing it. With the men, they'll have a whinge and they'll always they train hard, don't get me wrong, but it's totally two different coaching sessions for the men to the women. It really is, because with the women, I could do 5 or 6 drills and they want it spot on before they leave, and they'll ask questions and stuff like that. With the men, they just get on with it and just want to dive around like lunatics, really. So, no, it's good doing the sessions because some sessions I take from the women and do to the men, and some of the men find it totally different, like getting down, getting up.
Yeah.
Totally different for the women to do it to the men. The men might get higher in the air than the women do, so it's just varying the sessions, really, and it is very interesting to see how, when you do the session for both, how they are, and it's surprising, really.
Do you do the same type of drill for both men and women, or is there some that are completely different?
For example, I train with Wrexham women on a Tuesday night, then I go with Colwyn Bay on a Wednesday. So I train the keepers on the Tuesday, and I think, let's see if that session works on the Tuesday for the women and how it works. Then I can roll it over for the Wednesday. And then what I do on a Wednesday night, because we train on a Thursday, I bring Tuesday and Wednesday into a Thursday session then. So it's nice having 3 nights on the row of it, so I can vary it round. And like any coach, sometimes you do something and you think, that hasn't worked, so I'll leave that out of tomorrow night, but I'll add something else in. So it's very good having the 3 sessions like I do. I'll have the women and the men and the women again. So it is very good than that. It's just variation, really. So it's not the same every week.
Oh man, I don't want to put anybody on the spot and say call out any names, but you were making the comparison of somewhat like the women are somewhat like a sponge where they just soak it all up and they want it, and then the men are a little bit more set in their ways about it. Not to highlight on anybody who is stubborn so much, but those sponges that just soak up everything. Has there been anybody that has come along through the years that you've either played with or that you have coached that you're like, this person just gets things, they get something new, they take it on and they just get it?
Yes. At the moment, we've got 2 lads who've gone through the academy at Wrexham and they're on scholarships. They're good lads. They've learned a lot over the years. But the most recent one, who I think has blown us all away at the moment, is Chloe Ankers, who played for the women the other week. A 16-year-old.
Yeah.
She made a debut against Cardiff Met, and she was outstanding. She was. I think she knew herself that she'd done a bad pass, but otherwise, she was very nervous for the 16-year-old getting called up and stuff, but that's what we're doing as a club with Gemma, Owen, Gaz and Gary Evans, everyone like that, bringing the youth through. It's just having her come through and last minute getting dropped into the first team. She was very nervous, but she dealt with it and kept a clean sheet. So she's been with Wrexham, I think 4 seasons now. So she's come through very well, she has.
So how did that come about with, how many days notice? How much did you get to work with her with the first team where she actually showed up? So for anybody out there that either missed that match, saw the match, but didn't realize that it was a 16-year-old that was in there, Chloe Ankers, that was playing, if you can give us some background about how did that happen and come about?
She stepped up to the under-19 squad this season, Chloe has. We've got Del Morgan and we've got Charlie as well. So they're the 2 senior keepers. So to make the session work on a Tuesday night, you might have one missing or the other 2 missing through work commitments. So I said, let's all train together. So on the Tuesday night, the first team and the under-19s train together. So I said, for extra training, can Chloe come on the Thursday? So she starts coming on the Thursday and she gets involved in training when, say, if Dell's not there or if Dell's there and they need two keepers, Steve Dale invites them both up for a small-sided game or training session. So she's around the situation, the camp. Then the week before the Cardiff met, Dell was called into work and she couldn't get out of it. So that was it, Charlie. That was Chloe's opportunity to come on the bench again because she came on a few weeks ago. So it was ideal for Chloe to go on the bench. Then the Saturday, the training was cancelled that week because we had a storm over here. So we cancelled training. They trained early on the Saturday before travelling down. And then Charlie took an injury. So it was literally 24 hours before the game. That's when Chloe knew she was playing. She was the only keeper travelled down. So I felt bad because I wasn't there because on the Saturday, but I met her in the hotel that night because I'm doing my coaching badges as well. So I met her in the hotel and we had Wrexham were playing on telly, so we watched that in the hotel. Then after I had a chat with her, pulled her out, and she was nervous, but we had a good chat, and she just turned around and said, "Thank you, Dave, for that. Thanks for that." And then it just something clicked with her. It was just unbelievable how she was. She went from a young girl to a lady just by having a chat to each other because she asked questions and in training everything, and she surprised me how she was when we had a chat because you could see. Her head was down a bit, but by the time we left, she asked a few questions, and she was totally brilliant. She was outstanding.
Wow.
But also, the girls, a few of them know her through training. Some of them, like Lily Jones, played with her last year, so she knows knows of her. So I called Kez, which is the women's captain, and Luisha over, had a chat with them too, and said, just trust her and believe her. She's good enough, or she wouldn't be here. And the girls were like, really? And I said, yeah, just trust her. Just be there for her. Be like a big sister. Look after her and everything before the game and during the game. And they didn't have to. She stood up to it. And after the game, the girls were like made up and she deserved it. She did. She got in Team of the Week as well. So it was brilliant. Debut and Team of the Week.
Yes. Oh, that's it. What were some of the things? So she comes to you. She's talking to you at the hotel. Was it?
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. We
night before.
The night before.
And what are some of the things she's saying, if that's okay to ask, of some of the concerns or questions that she has about the match? Or
well, she was just asking about how do they play? Do they play out from the back? Do I kick long, throw in, and just general chit chat? And I said, I can't tell you that we always play long because every game's different. If they give you space, they'll drop off and they'll last for it. And Phoebe Davis, she dropped off every time and was asking for the ball. The very good team that she had in front of her as well, like the defence, experienced, and they just helped her. Well, not helped her through it. She'd done the job. It's just the team didn't play the best first half, but she'd done the job, and the defence they're solid. And I'd love to have had that defence in front of me when I was playing, also when I was younger.
Yeah. During that match, while Chloe was playing, were there any instances where your dad heart got proud? Was there any specific plays where you were like, oh yes, that's it right there, what you're doing that month?
It was even harder because I was on my licenses doing my badges. So they were playing in Cardiff and I was in the Welsh headquarters, Dragon Park, down in Newport. So I had my phone on. Then I had Connor, the analyst. I spoke to him. I said, you've got to help me do this, do the warm-up right, do everything, talk to it and everything. So he was messaging me while I was on my course. And my phone was on. It was a bag of nerves. I was a bag of nerves.
Oh, no.
I was a bag of nerves because I felt like I let it down because I couldn't be there. But I was looking at the highlights on my phone and on Twitter or Instagram and just seeing the reports come through about it. I was just massive grin, and the tutor was saying, everything okay, David? And I was like, I'm so sorry, but I've got a 16-year-old playing. I've got to keep an eye. So they understood the situation. So
yeah, because that doesn't happen all the time. Oh my goodness! And now you said you're down there getting your coach's badges. So I know that the Welsh FA and the English FA have different requirements for different things like coaching and for coaching you need badges. And how how does that work? How do you get them? What do you get, etc.?
How it starts, you have like your leaders, which is just your basic, you're safe to work around kids, your safeguarding, your first aid. So they're the basic requirements. Then to move up the ladder, it starts with your C certificate. So I've done my C outfield and my C goalkeepers, which is, if you want to say, like the entry level, which most coaches have to coach in Wales or at grassroots, really, to progress them. So I've done them I've done my C outfield, I think it was last year. Yeah, last year I'd done that. So usually you do one a year, but this year I've been silly enough to take on my B outfield and my B goalkeepers as well this year. So I'm doing them both together on different weekends, as well as coaching. So it's a bit full on at the moment. So
yeah, you're a full-time student.
Yeah. As well as, I'm a full-time student, keeper coach, and I've got a job 40 hours a week as well.
Whew. How do you guys do it? And guys and gals, it's, how do you do it? Because like, not only for you're experiencing, what the players are, the semi-professional players who are working, like Del Morgan, who couldn't get out of the shift, where for us casual fans, we're here watching it and we're like, hey, she can't get out of a shift. Don't they know how important this game is? Like, let her out of the shift. Do we need to go talk to him?
No, that's exactly I think a lot of fans and people forget that these girls have got full-time jobs or they're in college as well. Like Phoebe's a mum as well, so she's got a full-time job as well as a mum, and she's requires to do the training 3 times a week as well, and the game on the weekend. So, and that's without if there's any events that they have to attend to promote the club or help charities and stuff like that. So it's a lot of time they give into the club. Fair play to them, it is a lot. Like Steve Dale, the manager, he's full-time at the club. Gemma Owen, she's full-time, been there for years, which we'd be lost without her. She's an amazing woman. Josh, the coach, the physio, Zoe, the strength and conditioner, she's full-time, and Connor, the analyst, they're full-time. So that's my dream one day, to be full-time with them lot. So we'll have to just keep working hard.
Oh, yeah. Well, and to that, so there's a couple of things that I don't want to miss, and one of them is us, fans that tune into the games and talk on Twitter. We were all blown away by Chloe Ankers. There was that dumbfounded, oh yeah, also she's 16, and just completely mystified by the composure that she kept, the maturity that she held throughout the match. And with all those nerves, they didn't show. Like, she rose to the occasion and she did a phenomenal job. I mean, she made team of the week. Are you kidding me? Like, she did an amazing job. And that has to be a big pat on the back for you too, that the training and the coaching that you've done and the mentoring that you have done have facilitated a person who may be up against probability or odds on paper. You would say they're going to have a tough match, against grown women who have been playing this for X amount of time and could be somewhat, intimidating. For her to have the strength and composure she had, it came from somewhere. And of course, there's a good percentage that's her, and there's a good percentage that's the support network around her. And you just have to give you a round of applause too for that.
Oh, well, thank you for that. But I'm just like a small cog in which makes that big wheel turn. That's why Wrexham when we've got the under-19s, we've got the youth girls coming through, and if it wasn't for Gemma Owen, we wouldn't have this pathway for players like Lily Jones, who's come through, Amber Light, for Chloe now. And like yesterday, we went down to Swansea and we had Chloe was on the bench, and another 2 16-year-olds travelled as well. So it's the pathway which the club have put in place as well for them girls to come through, which is amazing, really.
Well, and I had Mia on, and she, went from the under-19s and then had somewhat of a similar experience to Chloe, where she didn't know that she was going to start in her first game, that she was going to start. And so, she, found out in the last month, the last minute, and For her, unfortunately, she had a birthday party the day before because she didn't think she was going to be playing and starting the next day, and then got thrown into the lion's den. And but I guess you earn your stripes however you earn your stripes. Like you're going to have your time. And how do you know you're truly ready until you get in there and are tested?
Yeah, I think, to be honest, thinking back now, I think that's the best way, last minute. I think if you knew in the week that you were going to be playing, I think a lot of things could go through your head. You'd overthink things. So I think, because I can remember that day Mia played, sorry, Mia came on and played. It was brilliant just seeing another youngster coming through the ranks and making the debut. Was brilliant because I'm involved with the under-19s. So I see a lot of the players coming through and I know them well coming into the first team, so it was a nice experience seeing them all come through. But no, that was a memorable day. It was, because she's a character. Mia, she is really a character.
Oh yeah,
Brilliant.
Yeah, I left the door completely open. Mia, if you're watching this again, come on anytime you want. You've got a spare 5 minutes. Come on. Yeah, she's amazing. She's good. I like her.
Yeah, she's brilliant.
And then Robbo Jr. You can't get better than that.
It's funny because I played with her uncle. Her uncle was in the same team as me at Wrexham.
Oh.
So Neil was...
Okay.
Neil's 2 years older than me, her dad. But her uncle Steve, he was in the same team as me, youth team. Then we played for Wales together and stuff. So I know the family well.
Yeah. Nice. Nice.
It was nice to know who she was when she started training with us.
So when you played for Wales, the overlap wasn't the same time as Neil playing for Wales.
No.
Okay.
Neil,
but it was with Steve. Okay.
Yeah, Steve, her uncle. It was with Steve, her uncle. We played for 15, 16 Wales together. I think we might have had under 18s or 17 squad together as well. So yeah.
I like that kit from 15, 16 Wales. That's a nice kit. I've seen them now that Wrexham has been getting bigger, and Wales following has getting bigger. You see them come on eBay, and people are these old kits that maybe not that many people would have X amount of years ago would have been putting on eBay for sale to see how they'll do. They're popping up. To that, how have you been navigating the waters now that there's cameras around there? You have celebrity around you, but also you're becoming a celebrity as well because people see you. They see you as one of the members of Wrexham who for better or worse, now have a fan base, a global fan base of eyes. How do you feel about all of that?
It's very different because I think the first time I went to a Wrexham game, I was maybe 8, and I followed them all my life, even when I left the club. If Everton were playing away, I used to go to watch the Wrexham games with my dad, the home games. So I've always followed Wrexham when I can, and if I wasn't playing, I'd be there. But no, it's all good for not just the club, the town, the people involved in the club who've put so much work in. Yes, there's a lot of new people come in and new faces in the club, but I think they all know what the club means to the town itself, and they're all on the same ring for what we want to do and where we want to take the club to, and it's just a lovely feeling. It really is a lovely feeling to be part of it for however long it is, or whatever happens in life, but it's just amazing at the moment. It really is. Last season for the women and the men, it's just, it's perfect at the moment. If you wrote it, that's how you'd write it.
Yeah. I'm sorry I didn't look to see if you came on when Wrexham started or restarted the women's side in 2018. When did you come on for coaching with Wrexham?
I've been there. I think it's 6 years now I've been with the women. So I think it just started. Yeah, I think not long after it started, I think it was a season or so after it started back up, I went there, back there, and it was just, we were talking about it last night, me and Gemma Owen, just saying how far it's gone in a short time because of the effort and contribution from the owners and the club and everyone involved, how far it's gone in such a short time. It's amazing. Like, we put the pitches we used to play on, and you can't knock them pitches because of the financial they have to raise to keep the club going. So you can't slate they do amazing work on the pitches and hospitality for you and make you as welcome as you can. And without clubs like that, we wouldn't have your players coming through. But it's just amazing. Like yesterday, going to the Swansea Stadium, it was just amazing. It was amazing. I think there was 3,800 or 3,900 there, I think it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's
nearly 4,000 fans. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just amazing. But it's all about learning and showing the kids of today and the girls of today what the aim is for them. If they try hard enough, it's there for anyone if they try hard enough and just keep working at it. It's not going to come to them, but if they keep trying the best, they will get their rewards in time, and the girls deserve it. Every single girl who's with Wrexham now deserve what's happening. They do, because a few seasons ago they had to pay to play and stuff like that. So they had to pay to travel. So when we were playing away, they had to pay
out of your own pocket.
Well, yeah, it was just
so each player would contribute.
Yeah, they had to contribute before the new owners. They had to pay for the kit and stuff like that, for the training kit. And when you play away, you would jump in your car and you'd have nothing for that fuel wise, but over the seasons and with the new owners, it was first buses, and now they've gone semi-professional. So that's the aim for every young girl who wants to be. That's what could be if they try hard enough. It's amazing reward at the end.
Well, and Wrexham women's team is paving new ground. You're drawing these crowds where Welsh Premier League teams aren't getting 3,800, to matches, so you're getting this team who is just blazing a trail ahead, and you're a part of this, this thing. How has it seemed like it's happened quickly or slowly? Because the train's left the station, it's moving already now.
Yeah, it's just like the men's game. Everything's just gone very quickly. It has gone very quick. The fan base and everything is just amazing. It really is.
It feels quickly too. Okay.
Oh, yeah, it does, because we used to go to games and it was just staff there. And yesterday we played at Swansea. There was fans down at Swansea, which I know some from Wrexham, which it took 4 hours to get down there for that. And it's just everywhere we go now, there's always fans, and it's just so nice to see. That it just shows what the club means to people. And that's not just people who have just come in the last 4, 5, 6 years, whatever, 2, 3, whatever. It's just, you see old faces, stewards and stuff, which have been at Wrexham game for years. They're at the women's game. It's brilliant to see all new faces and old faces around the place. It's priceless.
Yeah, and at Swansea, that having a big crowd, and even so much as the Wrexham effect of bringing out fans to come support other women's teams too. So bringing out the Swansea to fans and supporters to come out. It's like that domino effect of snowball, where that momentum just goes and it's creating more and creating more. Sky's the limit, but do you have time in between your learning and coaching and working your job to take in what it is that's going on, that you're involved in and what's around you?
I think the time, there's been 2 incidents where three actually. The first one was when we played at the racecourse last season, and like Mia said, I think 9,500 there. We'd done the warm-up, and there was only 1,000 or 2,000 there. Came back out and it was full, and we were like, wow. Then about 20 minutes in, the fans started singing, and the hairs on my neck stood up, and I was like, wow, this is it. I had to pinch myself then. So that was one moment. The second moment was on the bus parade, when I got invited on that with the women. I never expected anything like that. Never. It was mind-blowing. So that's the second. And funnily enough, the third was last week I was having my haircut. in the hairdressers, and there was a little boy in there. He had a Wrexham top over. And I said, "Oh, I love your top." And when I was going to pay, you could hear his dad said, "Do you know who that is? That's the Wrexham goalkeeper coach for the women and stuff." And I was like, I turned round, fist pumped the little boy, and he had a massive grin. And I went outside, and I was like, "Wow, this is a bit unreal for someone to know a goalkeeper coach, because goalkeeper coaches really were just a very small cog in the make the big one work. But for someone to recognise you, it was like, wow, it's a bit unreal. It was unreal.
Oh, that's awesome. That is amazing. Oh, and you don't expect that. You don't expect that to happen. And it's just that phrasing. Do you know who that is? Oh, yes.
It was a bit. It's only little, but it's just the girls, like, they deserve it, what they're putting in and stuff. But just like, I do it because I love doing what I do and stuff. But for someone just to recognise what you actually do, it's priceless. Like, it really is. Because, like, if you ask most fans at clubs, do they know the keeper coach from Everton or Arsenal and stuff? Not many fans would. But for someone to say that in the hairdressers last week, I was like, wow. So
yeah, and the pride that is behind that. Not only pride for yourself, but the pride for the players and the rest of the coaching staff, and to know that the time and the work that you're sacrificing from having the full-time job and going to do the trainings and the learning side of it, and all those hours that you put in to know that others find worth and value in the hard work and dedication that you're doing. Like, that's absolutely amazing. And I don't know, does it get better than that? Does it? I don't know if it does.
Well, I know it's going to be hard, but we've still got targets where we want to aim for the women and the whole club, really, and push ourselves. We, as coaches, want to push ourselves so we can push the players more. I get the best out of the players and make sure everything's right for the players, really, because we all do, like we say, with a lot of cogs make the big one turn, and that's what's going at the moment. It's all going in the right direction. We keep working hard, and we'll get our rewards hopefully at the end of it all.
Oh yeah, and I mean, it seems like I said the train has left the station. It doesn't seem stoppable now. It's just growing and growing, and if we can jump back a little bit to that day at the racecourse. And I didn't realize, because I watched it at home, and they didn't start the coverage until about until the match started. So I didn't know that the stands were, 80% empty or something, earlier on before you all came back out. So when you guys come back out, there's a full crowd out there who is singing. Obviously, the hairs on the back of your neck are going to stand up, and that is amazing. But what did it feel like when they started chanting for Super Del Morgan and singing Super Del Morgan in goal? Like, what was that like?
That's another proud moment. Like the playoff game we had, she had an outstanding game. She really did. That day the whole team wasn't at our best, but Del was in the right place at the right time and got us over the line to get us to promotion. And it was, there was a clip on the end of the documentary, the second series of the women's, and you can see me walking up, and I just give it a massive hug after the game, and it was like it was like Christ. She looked at me, I looked at her, and our jaws just dropped, and we were like, "We've done it." And we just give each other a hug, and as they say, it's the goalkeeper union that we have.
Yeah, and that I was as blown away, but I can't be in the same shoes of what you were in and what Del was in. But me and my wife, we were literally in tears on that promotion game. We were just like so happy and so proud, and like all the work and everything that had went into it, and we couldn't help but be moved. And me, ever since I have become a father, it doesn't take much to make me cry. But that being said, I appreciate those moments when they come about, when you can kind of take stock and take worth for something that is great. And it seems like only there's going to be more of these moments that are coming up, and more of these surreal time. And you get to be in the mix of it. You get to be a part of all of this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit
Just
surreal. It really is. It really is surreal. But like, if it wasn't for people like Gemma Owen, Gaz Owen, Steve Dale, Josh,
mm,
and even the new like Zoe and Connor who've come in this year, if it wasn't for us all, it wouldn't be what our aim is now. Like it wouldn't be. And even this season so far, the new staff coming in has just helped us so much for what the knowledge they've brought in. And like last season, it was Steve Dale, myself, Josh, and Gemma Owen, just four of us, just going to away games and home games. But now more staff coming in doing their trades, which is helping the girls. So hopefully, may it continue.
oh yes. And so you are coaching, Super Dal Morgan. What is, if we lay people that don't understand goalkeeping, what is it about her that makes her so outstanding?
Experience with Del more than anything else.
Okay.
Out of all the other keepers, it'll be her experience, where she's been at, the level she's played at, the team she's been at. It's just, I think that's what makes her different to everyone else. It really is. Yeah, we're not getting any younger. So, like I said in the beginning, that older head, but she just keeps doing the business at the moment. She really does. And the thing is, when you're a goalkeeper, if you do a mistake, it's usually a costly one, and that happens. But she dusts herself off and just gets on with it.
Yeah, and there was great stops that she had at Swansea, but of course she can't stop every ball that's coming across, because there's no way that you can stop every single shot. But is there a way that she's getting younger as she plays? Because she has some tremendous saves that we saw Fozzie come out of retirement, and then he's like, hey, my body just isn't as quick as it was, and doesn't respond. She has that agility. She still has that spring and that bounce. And is there a little bit of a fire for her to perform or to rise to different occasions, because you have this 16-year-old phenom that's waiting in the wings, that's like, hey, if there's a spot, I'm ready to go?
Yeah, I think that's it. I think when you get older, I think when you have that opportunity, even now when I get asked to do charity matches and I play, I still think I'm 18 until the day after.
Ooh.
And I think she'll be feeling it today as well, because she was very busy yesterday. But she'll recover the right way and get herself ready for this week ahead. But yeah, that's right. Now she's got competition behind her. She's got Charlie, who's coming this season, who's been number 2 at the moment, but when she's played, she's done well. And now Chloe is 16-year-old. So Dell really has to keep working hard on the pitch and off it to keep that spot, really, because like all the rest of the players, no shirt's guaranteed for any of them.
Now, that's got to be super hard too, because if you're working a full-time job and there are other commitments, you can only dedicate so much time, obviously, to training, to studying your craft, but also to just sleep. And so, like, there's things that are coming into factor as the season goes on. We're on the cusp of moving from the 8 teams being played to it's being split to the top 4 teams and the bottom 4 teams. A lot of the people that tune into here are newer to football, newer to Wrexham, newer to Welsh leagues. How does that work? How is this change of right now there's 8 teams that are playing, but it's about to change? What is going to change, and how does that work?
Yeah, it's a strange way the Welsh system do it, men and women. What happens? You play everyone twice, home and away. So when we play all the games. I think in the new year it is. I think we've got one more league game left before Christmas, and then in the new year we'll get split. So the top 4 play each other twice again, and the bottom 4 play each other again. So then it's like a mini league. Then one league goes into 2 small leagues. So then the top spot of the women's go into if you win the league, then it's into the Champions League. They qualify for Champions League then. So that's European football and stuff. So it's a big challenge,
Oh, wow.
but we're doing well. We're not gonna. We know where we're aiming for. It's not going to come overnight, but so far the girls have done well, and everyone off the pitch, the club have helped so much. The owners have helped, the board, everyone has helped the women so much, and the staff. The hours they're putting in is phenomenal. It really is phenomenal what they're doing to make sure it's right. But if anyone thinks, oh, the women have gone up, they're going to walk the league. We're never going to walk. It's a very hard league. It's a very, very hard league. And we'll do things the right way to make sure we get where we want to the right way. It's not worth going out, just bringing a complete new team in. We'll got the under-19s team. That's what they're for, to filter players through, progress those players so we have a bigger squad. And yeah, we'll do it the right way. We will. But just don't expect it to come in the first season. If it does, it's a bonus.
Yeah. and if it does, it's like crazier things have happened. So it's like,
there's no reason on the day, if our girls turn up for every minute of every game, yes, there's a very good chance, but that's a lot to ask for because there's some very good teams with Cardiff and Swansea and Cardiff Met. They're established in that league. They've been there for a few seasons, so we'll get there. We will get there. Believe in these girls and the staff, and we'll get there.
How does the season change, and not in the literal sense, but in more of the, I guess, tactical game-to-game sense of how does it change once you've faced these other teams, 2 times? Now you're going to be facing these same teams 2 times again. Do tactics change? Is it more malleable? Because they've seen you more and you've seen them more. And so you can see more strengths, you can see more weaknesses. Or do you just play your game and you try to play the best at your game? And
yeah, it's a very good question. We'll have Connor, our analyst, who's come in and he's done an amazing job so far. He really has. It'll be up to him now to do his homework and give the coaches as much information as they can. The coaches will have meetings, see how we move forward in the next phase when we find out what phase we're in and stuff. And then we'll sit down around the table with all the coaches' staff. That's not just the first team, that's the under-19s, Gaz Owen, Gemma Owen, Gary Evans, all sit round and we'll just see what plan we go down then. And do we change things? Who knows? We'll have to just assess the previous games to the games coming forward and try and get the right combination.
Yeah, and no specifics because we're not giving anybody any edge. There's no don't give away the the cow and the milk right now. It's Britain Ferry. How do you say? Is it Klansawal? How do you say the
Brittany Ferry? I missed that last part, sorry.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the December matchup, and we've got December 3rd against Britain Ferry Klansawal. I'm messing it up. I don't, but
I'm not going to even go and attempt that because my pronouncing them Welsh isn't the best either. So I'm not even going to try and pronounce it.
Okay.
I'll get a lot of stick for that.
Just go back and it's we're fine.
Yeah.
Comes back. We're laughing for no reason right now. It's like there's the cut has returned. It's like, what happened in between now? No clue. But there's a match, the trophy match on December 3rd that's coming up. Trophy matches, trophy games. Are we approaching that any differently than the league games?
No, I don't think we are. Because last season when we played them in the playoff final, they were a very good organised team and they took us by surprise. They really did. And like I said, if it wasn't for Dell that day, we would have struggled. But without Dell and the fans that day, we wouldn't have got the win. But we'll do what we can, our homework. But it's going to be a hard game. It's going to be because they deserve to be up in this league. No question about it. They're a very good organised team. And what we saw last season, yes, they should have gone up with us, really. They're the best down south. We were the best up north. The playoff game it's not fair, to be honest, to the playoff game, but both teams should have gone up because they were a very good team and they would have held their own this season. They would have. So we got a lot of respect for them, but not too much because we're there to do a job. And we'll give everything we got for them and prove to them this season that's why we went up.
And as we know of right now, Del Morgan is going to be playing. Is there anybody that we need, just give their phone number, their home address, whoever it is that we need to make sure she's off of work for that game as well? Because I'm willing to make phone calls. I have no problem calling up. I can put on voices. This is Del's grandmother.
Yeah, like I say, if injury or work circumstances get in the way, we've got a good enough squad to put out and deal with it that day. We'll give it a good shot. The thing is, with trophy games and cup games, you only have one chance. But I believe in the squad we've got. I really do.
In this trophy game, how does that competition work? Which leagues are all combined into that trophy?
Yeah, the trophy, I think, is the top 2 leagues for that one there, and then you have like the women's Welsh Cup as well. So we've got them in both. We've got Brittany Ferry in both games. So we're down to the final 16 now. So the Welsh one is, I think, all the female teams in Wales, and we're down to the final 16 of that.
How does that even happen that you get both matches? Yeah.
I know,
7 days apart. What is it? If first you don't succeed,
yeah, maybe so. But the thing is, I think they've got to travel up here 2 weekends on the row as well. So
yeah,
both
our home matches at the Rock.
Yeah, hopefully, but we'll have to wait to see because there's stuff going on because Wrexham first team play on the same day as they're in the cup on the same day. So we've just got to sort timings and days and everything out for that. Yeah, so we're just waiting to hear.
So the time could change?
It might do. Yeah,
is that a possibility?
There could be a possibility it could change because of, I think the men kick off at 3:45 UK time and we're 2:00 UK time. So the staffing of both games is going to be very hard to manage because we have to have stewards and ticket office people and the media team and stuff like that around the place. So I'm really not sure yet what's the confirmed time or date or anything of them are yet.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what you could do is during the women's match, Mark can start commentating, take the game on the road, a live commentary, get to the race course, and then just do both. Because I believe that's the day that Wrexham play Yeovil, right? And the the FA Cup, and so that'll be another team that was played last season as well. So some rematches, so to speak, on both sides. But I think Mark can do it. If anybody could do it, Mark. Get him 2 monitors. He can call both games at the same time. Yeah,
yeah. You'd give it a go anyway. You would give it a go.
Yeah. So this is a trophy game that's coming up. As importance level for us at home, should we celebrate extra loud, if we win, or should we take the loss as a hard hit if we were to take a loss? Where should our emotions be at?
Every loss hits the girls hard. Even like yesterday, it hit the girls hard. Just losing because they've got that determination and that passion to win every game. So yes, it will hit us hard if we lose, but we're not thinking about that. We're just thinking of one result and going for that silverware to bring some trophy home and put in the cabinet to join last season's. That's what it's all about. Those trophies.
Is that somewhere where when I come to Wrexham to come visit, is there somewhere where I can actually go see the trophies? Is that possible, or is it away somewhere?
Yeah. They did have them both on show, and I think they still might be on show around the club shop area, or unless they've moved them now. But they were having the odd days where the men's league title and the women's league title were there, and you could have photos with them both and stuff. So they do have open days where they do bring the trophies out. Day to day, I'm really not sure where they're kept. I really don't know where they are day to day, but I do see people's pictures popping up with the trophies now and again, so they must be coming out. If people ask, I think, maybe.
Oh man, that would be cool. That's on my list as I'm putting together my next trip out. It's like, okay, obviously I'm going to be catching men's and women's matches, but if I can get, I have a photo with the National League Champions Trophy, and so I would I would love to get the women's trophy too, or women's trophies, in parentheses. I would like those. So if it's possible, I don't know which powers would ever be listening to this, but if there are powers that are listening, come April, when I'm booking my trip, if those just happen to be somewhere for people to take photos, I won't be mad. I won't be mad at anybody.
I'm not sure when they go back though. That's the only thing, because we keep them for the season.
Because
and that's the thing.
Yeah, because like April might be too late. I might be. I might be.
You're on the borderline there.
Yeah. Well, I'll hope in one hand, Well, David, we have hit an illustrious time of that I've taken from you. The last question, if I can squeeze it in here, is what do we have cooking, or what do we have going for any of the younger keepers, or anybody that we should be keeping our eye out and paying attention to, that as we watch these next season or next couple of seasons? We know Chloe Anker, we know Charlie, maybe we don't know her too well because we haven't seen her too much. Is that someone that we need to be paying attention to as well? I mean, of course, to everybody, but is there any young stars that we need to take note of and make sure we're watching?
Yeah, like I say, yesterday when we went down to Swansea, there was three 16-year-olds travelled with the squad down there. So there's a lot of young potential coming through, and we've just got to do it at the right time, because it's a big step. It is a big step, but even I don't think, no, they weren't on the bench, but they had the experience of travelling down, staying over, and having the feeling of being around the women and listening to the women and getting the atmosphere of what the women are like. So when they play for the 19s, hopefully they take that with them and just deliver that to the younger girls again who are coming through in the under 19s. And we don't want to burn players out either. That's another thing at this level. Young girls, yeah, one or two might be able to step up, but it's doing it the right way. And Steve and Josh and Gemma do things the right way. They really do. They're not just going to play someone for the sake of it or anything. They do things the right way, and the whole club do things the right way. For sure.
100%. And all of us on the sidelines that are just getting to watch this experience, the metamorphosis of the caterpillar becoming the beautiful butterfly that it is, and us being on the sidelines, we're just completely grateful that people like you are putting your time and sacrifice into developing the thing that we get to consume and watch the finished product and watch where it's going to. Thank you so much for taking time out of your 18 different jobs that you have to do to come over and spend some time with me, spend some time with us, teaching us how to Wrexham, teaching us how to goalkeep, how to coach, how to live life. And hopefully if one of us sees you in the salon or barber shop getting your haircut next time, hopefully if we're so lucky, we can be the ones to tell everybody else, like, hey, do you know who that is right there? Do you know?
No, but thank you. Thank yourself for asking me on, and thank you to all the fans in this country, abroad, everyone who's getting behind the girls, the men. It means so much to us all, and may it continue, please. We'll do our best for you all.
Yes. Well, like I always say, as my adopted phrase, up the town.
Up the town.
All right. Thanks, David.
Thank you very much, man.